some who have mental retardation.
You have a vision, a pictorial, fact of your purpose, and then you are working it, you are growing into it. That's the only time that you can bring someone into your life.
Every male man must first come into the picture of their identity. Who am I?
Hi there, welcome to Dove Eyes with Chinwe Kalu. It's great to be here once again, and I'm glad you're out there watching and listening to us again. Today we're here again with our only mission, and that is to strengthen the family, make every member of the family thrive in doing family. And so that's our business. And so today we just have another, what we think is an important aspect of family that we need to talk about. And I always say that we start from before you decide to get into a family or to get married. Then the decision to get married, and then when you do get married and when you have your children, how do you parent them? And so today we're going right back to the beginning of the spectrum, the beginning of it all, before you even meet Mr. Right. Okay. So recently I had opportunity to talk to a couple of young people, and especially around that Valentine period, especially for the girls, I found that a lot of them had trepidations as to what would happen over Valentine. They didn't have boyfriends, young adults, no boyfriends, and they were now worried about the fact that Valentine was coming. And there were even older ones who are concerned about the fact that Valentine is coming again, another year is going around, what's going to happen, when is Mr. Right ever going to show up? These are real concerns for a lot of young women, and today we're going to be addressing them. How do you position yourself such that you're not anxious, and you can wait while, the right person comes along, and you don't just settle for anything just because you can no longer wait. So if you're a young girl out there, you're not in any relationship, you don't even see one in the horizon, and you're getting anxious, you're asking yourself, what is when, how, where, who, before Mr. Right comes, we have a way of positioning ourselves that we must be strong. We must be strong. We must stand, and our lives must not be about waiting for somebody to show up in our lives. Okay. So that's what today's show is all about. I'm sure that we're going to have a good time talking about it. So don't go away. I'll be right back. Okay, so still talking about preparing and being strong while you wait. One of the things you need to do is let go of all your past relationships. Stop following him on social media, please. Stop paying attention to every little thing he does, his next girlfriend and all the things. Some of you remain friends with them, and I don't have a problem with friendships because really they're your friends. However, don't let him don't keep him in your space to the extent that he distracts you from looking forward to other relationships. Okay. So don't keep following him on social media, and then that in particular, because that's stalking. You're stalking him, you're following every little thing he does, Don't do that. Let it go. Let it go. A lot of the time when God wants to bless you, you have to let go of something before he puts something in your hand. And so you can't be following him, stalking him, and thinking of him all the time and allowing him that much leeway into your space and expect that you'll be able to get past him. It's difficult. So if you have a relationship with your ex, please put your exes where they belong in the past. Let them be, and let's move on. Okay? Let's start life outside of them and without them. Don't let them come and start giving you, they're telling you about their escapades with the next girls or the other girls that they date. You don't need all that information. You don't even need that relationship anymore. Okay? So you need to let go of that relationship and, seal it. I didn't say you should bury him. No. Because so even if he has hurt you, what you need to do is forgive him and move on. But let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Whatever you need to do to let it go, let it go. All right? It's important that you do. You can't move on until you have let him go. So let him go. Okay? Let him go, and let him go for good. All right? And let's move on. Okay? Now, another thing you need to do is guard your ear and eye gates. A lot of the time, we don't have relationships, but we have relationships on television. In the soap operas you watch, you're in relationships. You are in that relationship with that guy, that handsome dude in the soap opera who's dating this other girl. You are following their love life like your life depends on it. You are in it, you live it, you live it, No, you have to watch what you watch, what you see and what you hear. There's a lot of romantic material out there that will not add value to this journey you are taking right now. So the movies you watch, the books you read, the music you listen to, try not to, focus too much on the romantic ones because they just make you feel very lonely. They remind you that you are not alone. Sorry, that you're alone. And they tend to make you feel that there's something wrong with you because you are alone. Meanwhile, being alone is not a problem. Remember that when Adam was in the garden, yes, God said it was not good that he be alone, but Adam didn't complain. Adam didn't have a problem with it. And so you shouldn't have a problem with it until God decides, okay, it's time, let me bring somebody your way. So all those romantic books that we read that build castles in the sky, let's be careful about them. Let's all those movies and social little every week that you watch, you follow the story for 16 weeks. Sometimes you watch the soaps, in one day, just sit down all day watching this soap, following this couple, following this guy, watching all his love. No. It's all romance. And romance is part of life, yes, but every day and all the time, it just makes you feel alone, and you don't need that. Okay, so guard your ear gates, guard your eye gates, guard what you watch, guard what you listen to, guard what you read. All right, this is the time for you to, indulge in more self-development materials rather than all these romantic materials. Do I have anything against them? Not really, but there's a time for everything, and sometimes they're not necessarily the best for you. This time on your journey, trying to find yourself in yourself with God is not a good time for you to engage in, all that romantic stuff. Okay? I think that is something that people should take seriously. Now, one of the things that happens to young girls in particular, funny enough, when a guy, if a mother comes home from a wedding and she has a son who's not married and she has a daughter who's not married, the chances are that she's going to turn to the girl and say, your own will be soon. You are going to be next. And it's supposed to be some kind of prayer. But I don't see it as prayer anymore. I see it as pressure being piled on the young girl. Nobody piles this pressure on the young men. I don't know why, really. But we just keep saying these things to these young girls. And you need to, try very hard not to succumb yourself to these family pressures. All right? There are societal pressures. You might not have anything to fight against, what everybody thinks. But when you come home, all right, and your mom is worried about you not being married, you need to be able to calm her down and tell her, mommy, in God's good time, it will happen. And there's a manner in which you tell your mommy that your mommy will back off. However, if you enter a pity party to her, mommy, when I'm just wondering, it's been so long, I've just been waiting, when is God going to answer? Then she will now turn to you, and every time she comes from another wedding, she will also pray with you again. Then you and your mom are in a pity party. You don't need that. You just need to be able to tell your mommy, in God's good time, he will do it. All right? So don't allow yourself to be put under that pressure. It puts a lot of pressure on you. When your friends are talking about getting married, that puts pressure. But when people that are close to you now start to say, when now? What's happening now? How far? All those how far? What's happening? Is there nobody? You mean you can't even find anybody? That is pressure. You have a right to decide, I want to marry a certain kind of person, and wait for that person. As long as that list is not a frivolous list, wait for that person. He will show up. It's just a matter of time. It might take a little longer because what you want is a little more special than the regular. Okay? But wait for it because it will come. He will come. It's just a matter of time. So please try. Don't allow yourself to put under that pressure. Don't. Every time they come with it, just tell them, God is working it, and I know he will work all things together for my good. Let me be. And they will back off. But if you join the party, then it becomes a problem and you become part of the problem. So you need to choose to challenge that, pressure. It comes subtly. At every wedding you go to, at every time your friend of yours gives birth and your mother hears about it, or your aunties hear about it, a cousin gets married and the family knows there's a family wedding, those pressures keep coming. However, gird up. And the only way you can gird up is when God has blessed you, when in your heart you know that it's just a matter of time. And that's why that first point about building a relationship with God is the most important one of everything I'm going to say, I've said on the program so far. So, last thing is, please don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Always trust that God has a plan for you and that plan is a good plan and that he will work that plan for you. He will work all things together for you. What seems like time lost will all be made up to you. It's just a matter of time. So never give up. Don't begin to, after sometimes some girls have to say, this marriage thing safe. Maybe it's not. No, don't ever say that. Don't ever believe that. Because that's you giving up. Okay? Marriage is a good thing. It's a blessing from God. And when it comes, it will bless you. But don't rush it, don't push it. And don't kill yourself with anxiety before it finally comes, because it will come. And then what will happen when all the look, a lot of women after the first 6 months of marriage, when you enter into the real grind of marriage, the responsibility of marriage, the actual everyday working of marriage, you find out that it's good that you get in there at the right time, not before. Okay. So please don't give up. Okay. Be positive about it in your heart all the time. Just keep telling yourself, and anybody who cares to ask, oh, I know that God will do it someday. Why he has not done it, I'm going to just keep busy. The most important part of everything I've said is the God factor. And so I might be telling someone to build her relationship with God, and she's saying, how do I do that? You really do need Jesus in your life as your Lord and Savior. Just call him in. Ask him to come. Lord, I need you now. Please come. And he'll come right away. That's one prayer that he doesn't say, some things we ask for, like Mr. Right, he asks you to wait. But when it comes to a relationship with him, he comes the minute you call him. So just ask him to come in. Lord, I need you. Come now. And he will come. And once that happens, you start a relationship with him and start to build yourself up in God. And that is how you strengthen yourself, for the journey and waiting for Mr. Right. Mr. Right always shows up. He will show up. It's just a matter of time. He will show up. And so for every young woman out there, I dedicate this program to you who is not yet married and is not in a relationship right now. So there seems to be no sign of the fact that this thing will ever happen. Trust me, it will happen. The day I got into the beginning to understand that my life was not about getting married, but that I have a life to live despite getting married, I think the guy finally showed up a few months later. That's what happens. But we're so busy looking out for this thing that looks like it will never come that we miss out on life. And that's not God's desire for you. There's so much more to life outside of marriage. Start enjoying those things until marriage comes. Okay? That's what today has been about, and I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Please think about it and try and adjust your life to reflect some of the things that we've talked about today so that you can enjoy life while you wait. Okay? So it's been great being here, and I'm sure you've had a good time listening to us. I've had a great time presenting this one. And so if you need to, the conversation continues on all our social media platforms. Just join us on any of them. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Friend us on Facebook. Just be with us, okay? On Instagram, we're Dovers with Chinwe. On Facebook, we're Dovers with Chinwe Kalu. On YouTube, we're Dovers with Chinwe Kalu. Please subscribe again. And, join our conversations. Let's talk about these things. And let's just keep, talking to each other and making sure that we thrive in this business called family. Okay? So I'll be here again same time next week. God bless you and have a really pleasant time. Bye-bye.